Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are those who go into politics to be something, for rank, to be able to go to hotels and enjoy free dinners, and there are those who go into politics to do something. Mr. Speaker, and yes, those words are attributed to a former Conservative Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, but no less significant for a Labour politician. It is a powerful distinction, Mr. Speaker, as it suggests a divide between those motivated by personal ambition and those driven by a desire to create change. That the former, Mr. Speaker, seeks status or power, while the latter is focused on service and impact. We, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, are focused on service and impact. The Member of Parliament for Sozel Saltibus, Mr. Speaker, is welcome, Mr. Speaker, to join us in celebrating the genius of this budget. It is not artificial intelligence, Mr. Speaker, just the genius of the Member of Parliament for Castries East, our Prime Minister, and our Minister of Finance. We could recall what he said, Mr. Speaker. It must have been AI to be able to come up with such a well-crafted budget.
He said that?
Yesterday he said that.
You're the product of AI, man.
So, Mr. Speaker, he's welcome, Mr. Speaker, to join us as we celebrate this phenomenal budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we deliberate on the appropriation bill for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, this government reaffirms its commitment to responsible governance, economic stability, and sustainable development. The Honorable Prime Minister's message frames this budget as one of continuity and caution. Caution, Mr. Speaker, because of the fog of uncertainty in the international community. However, grounded in strong economic performance and a future-focused ambitions. St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker, has achieved 4 consecutive years of economic growth, reaching 4.7% in 2024 and projected 4% for 2025. Mr. Speaker, this growth reflects deliberate reforms and strategic prioritization, particularly in the areas of fiscal discipline, entrepreneurship, promotion, and social investment. And employment, Mr. Speaker, has dropped to single digits for the first quarter of 2025, signaling a critical, Mr. Speaker, social milestone and increased access to livelihood and opportunities, Mr. Speaker. And I know the member for Social yesterday had some issues in reconciling the information from the Economic and Social Review. I think it is wrong, Mr. Speaker, for politicians to respond to the assertion by the member for Social, Mr. Speaker. The CSO, Mr. Speaker, should always, Mr. Speaker, be held in very high regard. We should not be disputing in here the details coming out of the CSO, Mr. Speaker. However, Mr. Speaker, the member will also be aware that we could verify that information by simply looking at the average savings from the NIC contributions. It has moved from 9 months to now 10.2 months. An employer, Mr. Speaker, will not be contributing to NIC if he has no employees. An employee, Mr. Speaker, will not be contributing to NIC if they're not working. So that must speak, Mr. Speaker, to the reduction that he is having difficulty accepting. This is more, Mr. Speaker, than a statistic. It is tangible proof that our policies are translating into better outcomes for families and communities. Mr. Speaker, our financial institutions are growing stronger, with the Bank of St. Lucia now the largest in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Investor confidence, Mr. Speaker, and sound governance are propelling this rise, underpinned by prudent oversight and fiscal integrity. For the 3rd consecutive year, we are recording a primary surplus, an outcome earned not by chance, not fortuitously, and not by spontaneous combustion, as the member for Labrie would say, but through disciplined budget management and purposeful investment. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, this budget introduces no new taxes, Mr. Speaker. St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker, remains a low-tax jurisdiction, maintaining space for businesses and for households to recover and grow. Instead of financial burden, our strategy is to stimulate economic activity, mobilize private investment, and ensure that all solutions feel the impact of this progress. Mr. Speaker, in this era of geopolitical shocks, trade volatility, and climate uncertainty, our fiscal planning must remain adaptive and resilient. We must remain vigilant in the face of inflationary pressures, supply chain disruptions, and climate-related risk. This budget reflects those realities while reinforcing our resolve to protect our economic gains and support those vulnerable amongst us, Mr. Speaker. This is not merely a ledger, Mr. Speaker, of revenues and expenditure. It is a declaration of our national priorities, a reflection of our values, and a commitment, Mr. Speaker, to inclusive growth and shared prosperity. Mr. Speaker, our fiscal balance continues to improve, not by chance, but through strategic discipline, efficient spending, and a firm commitment to be a responsible government, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we understand that the economic recovery may not come at the cost of burdening of our people. Instead, we are focused on expanding opportunity, stimulating investment, and ensuring that every solution, as I said, Mr. Speaker, feels the impact of our progress. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the young graduates who find employment, live in his or her community, or when a farmer secures financing to expand his farm operations, these are not abstract outcomes, Mr. Speaker. They are the real stories behind the numbers, and they reflect what this budget makes possible. Mr. Speaker, this is a mark of a government that is not only managing for today, but laying the groundwork for a stronger, more equitable tomorrow, Mr. Speaker. These highlights present a comprehensive roadmap of sustainable development, economic transportation, economic transformation, and a people-centered governance. These points, Mr. Speaker, reinforce this government's commitment to putting people first and building resilience in the face of global uncertainty. Mr. Speaker, this budget is more than an accounting of dollars and cents. It is a statement of intent, a clear, people-centered, forward-looking declaration of the kind of St. Lucia we are building, a St. Lucia that is equitable, modern, resilient, and full of promise. With a projected GDP growth of 4.2% and the largest budget in our nation's history, valued at $2.6 billion, this is a moment not only to stabilize, but to surge ahead with confidence. Honorable colleagues and citizens of St. Lucia, our nation, like many small island development states, continues to confront the escalating realities of climate change, rising temperatures, extreme weather events, coastal degradation. Climate-related losses pose a significant threat to our development trajectory, our livelihoods, and the sustainability of our national economy, Mr. Speaker. I, Mr. Speaker, represent a coastal community, so those matters are very, very important to me, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Prime Minister was candid, and rightly so, about the challenges that lie ahead. This budget does not operate in a vacuum. It is shaped by a world that is increasingly uncertain. Geopolitical conflicts, trade tensions, rising shipping costs, and the intensifying impacts of climate change all cast a long shadow over the small island states like ours. Mr. Speaker, as we navigate this volatile global landscape, our fiscal planning must remain adaptive. Geopolitical tensions can disrupt supply chains and tourism flows. Inflationary pressures weigh heavily on the household budgets, Mr. Speaker. Every family feels it when food prices rise or fuel costs increase. Mr. Speaker, none of us are immune. We all experience the increasing prices of food and other daily necessities. But Mr. Speaker, there is a saying we all know too well. When the United States sneezes, the Caribbean catches a cold. This isn't just a metaphor, it is a reality, Mr. Speaker. Our economy is tightly interwoven with global markets. External shocks, even those far from our shores, can have ripple effects through our economy, affecting everything from remittances to export demand. That is why we must strengthen our internal resilience, Mr. Speaker. we must manage our national budget with foresight and discipline, ensuring we can respond to shocks without compromising long-term goals. Mr. Speaker, these shocks ripple through our ports, our supermarkets, and our fuel stations. Every St. Lucian feels it, at the market, at the gas pumps, and when paying for utilities. Prices are rising, Mr. Speaker, and not due to the actions of the government, but because of what is taking place in the international community. We all, Mr. Speaker, must make choices on what we buy and improve our budget management and practices. But, Mr. Speaker, in times like this, resilience begins at home, not just in government policy, but in the lived experiences of our people. We all face, Mr. Speaker, difficult decisions about what we buy, when we buy it, and how we manage limited resources. In such an environment, we must do more than call for sacrifice. We must support financial literacy, budgeting skills, and household-level resilience. Mr. Speaker, fiscal responsibility is not only the job of the ministries and Treasury. It is a shared responsibility of an informed and empowered citizenry. That is why we must make deliberate efforts to enhance public awareness of microeconomic realities, support community-based planning, and equip our people with the tools to thrive amid uncertainty. Mr. Speaker, adaptation is not a luxury. It is a necessity, and it is our duty as policymakers and public leaders to ensure that our national budget reflects that reality. It is time, Mr. Speaker, for flexible frameworks, strategic reserves, and for proactive measures that shield the most vulnerable while enabling growth and transformation. And I know the leader of the opposition is very keen at chiding the Sovereign Wealth Fund, but he doesn't seem to appreciate and understand someone, some entity needs to help St. Lucia with the energy transition. And perhaps, Mr. Speaker, we could provide him with further lessons on the impacts of inflation and how it affects GDP, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, inevitably, climate-related disasters may redirect resources towards emergency responses. These realities compel us, Mr. Speaker, to build not just for resilience, but for agility. Our projections, Mr. Speaker, are robust, but we remain vigilant and ready to revise them if needed to protect the progress we have made. Mr. Speaker, it is precisely for those reasons that the 2025-2026 budget builds upon a solid foundation laid last year, the year of infrastructure, while now shifting toward deepening our national resilience and expanding economic opportunity. This budget is not merely a fiscal document. It is the embodiment of our collective will to succeed. It is the beginning of a new chapter in St. Lucia's history, one that will be defined by resilience, prosperity, and justice for all. Mr. Speaker, let this budget be remembered, not only as a response to today's realities, but as a promise to future generations. A promise that in the face of challenge, we chose courage, that in the time of change, Mr. Speaker, we chose unity. Mr. Speaker, and that when history asks in St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker, and that when history asks if St. Lucia would rise, we answered with resolve, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, I repeat that this budget is not merely a ledger of revenues and expenditures. It is a declaration of our priorities, our values, and our collective vision. It reflects a government investing not just in concrete and steel, but in human potential, national resilience, and shared prosperity. Mr. Speaker, we are navigating one of the most complex and challenging periods in our history. The climate crisis is no longer a distant threat. It is a lived reality. Mr. Speaker, and for small island developing states like ours, the choice is stark. We either adapt or we perish. Mr. Speaker, this is why this government continues to invest heavily in our climate resilience and readiness agenda. And you will have heard the Minister for Sustainable Development yesterday, Mr. Speaker. Through the Designated Authority Work Program, we have laid a strategic foundation to position St. Lucia to access climate finance. Mr. Speaker, But readiness is not an end, it is a springboard. That is why this fiscal year deepens our commitment through institutional investment, ambitious reforms, positioning St. Lucia to not only attract, but to command climate finance aligned with our national vision. We are continuing, Mr. Speaker, to strengthen our climate finance architecture and enhance institutional and technical capacities to ensure that resources can be accessed at scale and deployed efficiently, especially at the national and local levels, Mr. Speaker. To this end, our climate finance strategy is under review to ensure alignment with the country's long-term strategies for climate resilience and low-carbon development. Mr. Speaker, among our top strategic imperatives is the advancement of the national accreditation of the Green Climate Fund. Mr. Speaker, this is a bold but necessary step, one that will empower St. Lucia to retain climate finance within our borders, strengthen our national institutions, and lead implementation on our own terms. Mr. Speaker, with support from our partners and the expertise of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, we initiated the process of preparing St. Lucia Development Bank in meeting these accreditation requirements. Mr. Speaker, in this fiscal year, support will also be provided to the St. Lucia National Conservation Fund and the Ministry of Finance to pursue GCF accreditation. Mr. Speaker, this will enable us to not only access but manage and implement climate finance investments and directly support our communities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are also undertaking a stocktake of our readiness priorities to define a long-term strategy that builds on lessons already learned. This includes support for mobilization of resources to advance our national adaptation plan, implementing our nationally determined contributions, and the operationalization of key policies like the Resilient Ecosystem Adaptation Strategy and Action Plan. Mr. Speaker, climate resilience is not optimal, it's not an option. And this government is treating it with the urgency, ambition, and the seriousness it deserves. That is why we are expanding our readiness focus to include critical areas like local governance and urban resilience. Mr. Speaker, this will allow us to better respond to floods, extreme heat events, and support investments in data systems, integrated planning, community-based infrastructure to protect the most vulnerable among us. But let me be clear, Mr. Speaker, our resilience agenda is not only about climate, Mr. Speaker. It is about economic resilience, fiscal stability, and social inclusion. There could be no resilience, Mr. Speaker, if inequalities still exist in our country. Mr. Speaker, that is why this budget includes transformative investments not only in physical infrastructure. The budget places a renewed focus on health and social development, with continued investments in healthcare, education, affordable housing, and targeted programs to uplift our most vulnerable. Resources, Mr. Speaker, have also been pledged to improvements in public financial management and data-informed decision-making. Mr. Speaker, it also emphasizes citizen safety and job creation, two fundamental pillars of our national development. This budget, Mr. Speaker, also includes initiatives designed to address both immediate employment needs and the long-term sustainability of our labor market. Mr. Speaker, a resilient, modern, and connected St. Lucia requires world-class infrastructure, and the redevelopment of the Girard International Airport stands as one of the most transformative investments in our national development agenda. This is not just an airport project. It is a symbol of confidence in St. Lucia's future. It is about creating the gateways that will welcome millions of visitors, facilitate trade and connectivity, and open new horizons for commerce, tourism, and global engagement. The HIA redevelopment, Mr. Speaker, is progressing with determination and vision. The new terminal designed to international standards will offer expanded capacity, improved passenger experience, and modern security and customs facilities. This will significantly reduce congestion, improve turnaround times, and position St. Lucia to compete more effectively in the regional and global tourism markets. But Mr. Speaker, it is more than just that. The HIA project is a catalyst for economic activity across multiple sectors, from local contractors, engineers, and suppliers engaged during construction, to new business opportunities for logistics, transport, hospitality, and retail when operational. The benefits are far-reaching. This is infrastructure with purpose. It is not development for development's sake. It is a deliberate effort to improve St. Lucia's economic competitiveness, enhance our national brand, and provide the infrastructural foundation for growth in green and blue economies, Mr. Speaker. We are also ensuring that this project reflects our commitment to sustainability and resilience. The new airport design, Mr. Speaker, incorporates energy efficiency features, sustainable materials, and provisions for climate adaptation, ensuring that we are not just building for today, but for generations to come. Mr. Speaker, the HIA redevelopment is aligned with our broader vision for sovereign growth and investment. It complements planned developments in Vieux-Fort and surrounding areas, including, Mr. Speaker, tourism expansion. The airport becomes the anchor of a larger ecosystem of growth, transforming the South into a new hub of economic opportunity and innovation. Mr. Speaker, this government is not only thinking big, we are executing with purpose. The HIA redevelopment is proof of that. It is an investment in connectivity, capacity, and confidence in our economy, in our people, and in St. Lucia's rightful place on the world stage. Under this administration, we are not merely dreaming about development, Mr. Speaker. We are delivering it boldly, sustainably, and for the benefit of all St. Lucians, Mr. Speaker, not just some St. Lucians. Mr. Speaker, if Girard International Airport is the gateway to St. Lucia's future, then St. Jude's Hospital is the guardian of life and dignity for the people of the South. For far too long, Mr. Speaker, this matter has lingered, clouded by delay, political football, and public frustration. But this administration, Mr. Speaker, has made one thing clear. Healthcare is not a privilege. It is a right, and we are acting with urgency, accountability, and compassion that the people of the South deserve. Mr. Speaker, the completion and commissioning of the St. Jude's Hospital redevelopment project is not just a construction milestone. It is a moral imperative. It is about restoring trust, restoring hope, and restoring access to quality healthcare for thousands of St. Lucians. We are not patching up the past, Mr. Speaker. We are building a modern, fully equipped hospital that meets the needs of today and is prepared for the health challenges of tomorrow. The new St. Jude's Hospital, Mr. Speaker, will feature state-of-the-art medical and surgical wards, modern diagnostics and imaging facilities, expanded emergency and trauma services, maternal and child health units, advanced energy and water efficiency systems, and climate-resilient design to withstand natural disasters. This is not just about infrastructure. It's about restoring faith in public institutions, ensuring healthcare equity, and building resilience, Mr. Speaker, in our social fabric. Our commitment, Mr. Speaker, in completing St. Jude's is marked by our investment in staffing, training, and health system strengthening. A hospital is only as strong as the people who run it, the doctors, the nurses, technicians, administrations, and we are working to ensure they are supported, valued, and resourced. We respect them, Mr. Speaker, we appreciate them, and we will continue, Mr. Speaker, to provide support to them. This project, Mr. Speaker, is also being managed with transparency and accountability. We have taken deliberate steps to ensure public funds are protected, timelines are respected, and solutions are kept informed every step of the way. This is the people's project, and we are treating it, Mr. Speaker, as such. We understand that health is foundational to national development. A healthy population is a productive population. That is why the St. Jude Hospital project is fully aligned with our broader health and social development agenda, one that prioritizes universal healthcare access, disease prevention, and community well-being. Let history, Mr. Speaker, show that this Labour Party administration did not delay. We delivered. We delivered with compassion, with competence, and with unrelenting focus on improving the lives of our people. Mr. Speaker, St. Jude's is rising, and with it, the spirit and strength of the South are rising too. Mr. Speaker, we are investing boldly and wisely. In healthcare, we are bringing long overdue relief with the completion of St. Jude Hospital, modernizing facilities at Victoria Hospital, and improving services through continued investment in primary healthcare infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, the constituency of Ansari Canaries alone is going to benefit, not alone as in the only constituency, but alone as in we are going to be benefiting, Mr. Speaker, from the renovation of the Canaries Wellness Facility, Mr. Speaker, the Jackmill Facility, Mr. Speaker, and the Vanna Facility, Mr. Speaker. But they will happen in sequence, Mr. Speaker, so we could share the facilities, particularly in Jackmill and Vanna. Mr. Speaker, this is about saving lives and restoring dignity. In education, the budget supports full tuition coverage for final year nursing students, increased preschool subventions, and additional CXC subject sponsorships, because no child, Mr. Speaker, should be left behind for lack of resources. Our social protection agenda is equally ambitious. Pensioners will now benefit from tax-free pensions, a one-time cash grant, and for the first time, NIC pensions, Mr. Speaker, will be adjusted annually based on inflation. Over 1,900 government workers, Mr. Speaker, on non-established contracts will be regularized, giving stability and peace of mind to hundreds of families. Mr. Speaker, isn't this putting our people first? We are also, Mr. Speaker, supporting economic transformation. With the reduction in airport service charges for regional travel, the removal of VAT from selected food items, and the tax deduction for investment in cybersecurity and AI tools show our resolve to support households and businesses alike while fostering digital resilience. Mr. Speaker, these are not abstract policies. They are tangible actions that directly support the people of Ansari Canaries and similar communities across St. Lucia. The reduction of airport service charges for regional travel means that small business owners, fisherfolk, and creatives from Ansari can now access regional markets more affordably, whether to sell products, attain training, or to form partnerships. The removal of VAT on selected food items offer immediate relief to families, managing tight household budgets, many of whom, Mr. Speaker, are already having some difficulty. And Mr. Speaker, the tax deductions for investments in cybersecurity and AI tools open the door for young entrepreneurs and digital freelancers in Ansari Canaries to innovate, protect their businesses, and plug into the digital economy safely and competitively. This is what, Mr. Speaker, inclusive transformation looks like. Policy decisions at the national level that meet real needs at the community level. Mr. Speaker, this government understands that resilience is not just about climate. It is economic, social, and institutional. The Honorable Prime Minister, the member for Castries, emphasizes fiscal prudence, job creation, and the investment confidence is part of the same ecosystem of resilience. Mr. Speaker, a strong economy rooted in sound management is our best insurance against shocks, climatic or otherwise. Let this budget be remembered, Mr. Speaker, as the moment we chose courage, Mr. Speaker, over complacency. Mr. Speaker, let this budget be remembered as the moment we chose courage over complacency. Mr. Speaker, a moment when we as a nation refused to shrink from the challenges and turmoil, but rose undaunted to meet it with resolve, responsibility, and a firm belief in the ingenuity of our people. Mr. Speaker, let it not be said that we only counted the cost. It should be said that we counted people in every dollar allocated, in every initiative funded, and in every policy pursued. Mr. Speaker, this is the real accounting of this budget. Mr. Speaker, I would like to turn to implementation. Who is responsible for implementation, and why does it matter? Mr. Speaker, the answer is both simple but yet profound. The public sector, our government ministries, departments, and agencies bear the critical responsibility of turning our development agenda from vision into reality. Mr. Speaker, this is even more important now than ever before. In the next 3 to 5 years, Mr. Speaker, which is something I was just brought to my attention, we will witness the retirement of at least a cohort of seasoned public officials who entered the service under the old pension regime. Mr. Speaker, these individuals carry with them not only decades of experience, but also the institutional memory that has guided policy evolution, program implementation, and interagency coordination for over a generation. And Mr. Speaker, when they leave, what is in place for the new generation? Where are the standard operating procedures? Where are the knowledge management systems? Where are the structured mentorship pathways to ensure that the wisdom of the past informs the energy of the future? Mr. Speaker, the reality is this. Without proper systems in place, we risk a vacuum, loss of continuity, of context, and of nuance. Mr. Speaker, we risk having new entrants to the public service thrown into a complexity without the tools, the institutional context, or the historical understanding that they need to make decisions that are informed, coherent, and strategic. It is within this context where modernization, resilience, and forward-thinking leadership are no longer optional but essential. Mr. Speaker, we must examine how this national budget will be delivered. Honorable members will agree, for a budget to be more than numbers on paper, it must be executed for a public sector that is not only adequately resourced, but also capable, agile, and accountable. Mr. Speaker, and yet, we must confront a hard truth. The very systems tasked with delivering our development promises are often ill-equipped to do so. Our institutions, Mr. Speaker, though staffed by competent and dedicated professionals, are constrained by outdated processes, fragmented coordination, and capacity deficits. This is not merely an administrative concern, Mr. Speaker. It's a structural vulnerability, one that threatens the effectiveness of our investments and undermines public trust. Mr. Speaker, if we are to realize the transformative vision laid out in this appropriation bill, if we are to deliver on the economic growth, resilience, job creation, health, and citizen safety, we must first fix the engine that drives it all, the public sector. Only that, Mr. Speaker, can ensure that implementation is not an afterthought, but the very heart of our national transformation. Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, it's not just an HR issue, it is a national development risk. And if we fail, Mr. Speaker, to act now, if we fail to institutionalize knowledge, professionalize our public service, and invest in structured, future-ready capacity building, we are at risk for losing more than just expertise. We are at risk of losing momentum, credibility, and the very foundation upon which the public trust is built. Building capacity in the public sector must go beyond merely coordinating consultancies or commissioning reports. While these approaches can be helpful in the short term, they do not foster enduring institutional strength or sustainable expertise. What we truly need is a deliberate, long-term investment in nurturing a cadre of public professionals, individuals equipped with the skills, knowledge, and ability to lead us into the new economy. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, you'll never find anyone on this side of the House disparaging any public servant in delivering their duties. Mr. Speaker, this means prioritizing continuous learning, mentorship, knowledge transfer, and preservation of institutional memory. It means enabling our officers not just to manage projects, but to design, negotiate, implement, monitor, and adapt complex development programs. We must create the space and provide the tools for our public service to become proactive architects of transformation, not just merely passive administrators. Mr. Speaker, this annual event, the budget debate, is an opportunity to speak of plans and priorities, but it is also a time to reflect, not just on where we are, but on how we got here. Mr. Speaker, our development journey has been shaped by ambition and adversity, by bold decisions and quiet persistence. And while the road has not always been smooth, it has been ours to walk, guided by the enduring hope that we can build a more resilient, inclusive, and prosperous St. Lucia. In a time of mounting global uncertainty, our ability to remain steady on this path, Mr. Speaker, depends not only on what we do, but on how we lead strategically, collectively, and with conviction. It is in this spirit that we must reaffirm the pillars of our national development architecture and institutions and give shape and structure to our aspirations. Mr. Speaker, the economy of the future is not singular. It is green, blue, and orange, sectors that reflect sustainability, marine innovation, and cultural creativity. To thrive, Mr. Speaker, in emerging sectors, St. Lucia must cultivate a public service that understands them deeply and technically and can speak the language of climate policy, digital innovation, impact investment, and creative industry development. Mr. Speaker, this requires a transformation in how we train, retain, and empower our human capital. Mr. Speaker, to unlock these opportunities, we must build a technically competent, mission-driven public service, one that engages communities, attract investment, manage partnerships, and develop coherent policies that turn potential, Mr. Speaker, into progress. The government, Mr. Speaker, is providing the fuel necessary to drive that, Mr. Speaker. The new economy demands new competencies, systems thinking, data literacy, participatory planning, digital fluency, cross-sector coordination, and a mindset of innovation, Mr. Speaker. We must, Mr. Speaker, move away from working in silos and work as one public service, Mr. Speaker. If we continue to train for yesterday's roles, Mr. Speaker, we will be unprepared for the realities of tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, what is our national training priority listed? If we are serious about building a future-ready St. Lucia, one that thrives in green, blue, and orange economies, then our capacity development must go hand in hand with our tools and frameworks that will finance and sustain that future. We cannot build resilience, Mr. Speaker, using yesterday's financing models. Again, Mr. Speaker, when the member for Miku South derides the Sovereign Wealth Fund, he's neglecting a very important part. We cannot build resilience using yesterday's financing models. We need to embrace innovative financing mechanisms that align our realities as small island developing state and our ambitions as a climate resilient nation. Mr. Speaker, we need professionals who understand how to structure and leverage innovative financial instruments, blue bonds and the like, financial instruments that allow us to invest in our marine economy while protecting our ocean resources. St. Lucia must be able to speak the language of investors and design instruments that are attractive, measurable, and transparent. Mr. Speaker, we are discussing the loss and damage fund. This is not charity, Mr. Speaker, but climate justice. The fund acknowledges that no amount of adaptation can undo the harm already inflicted on our coastlines, ecosystems, and livelihoods. And it demands that the international community respond with the solidarity and resources these losses require. It will also require us to establish national mechanisms to engage, Mr. Speaker, with the fund. We need officers trained in the development and scaling of nature-based solutions, Mr. Speaker, not just as an environmental interventions, but as economic and social investments. Mr. Speaker, the constituency of Anseri Canaries is leading in that regard, because very shortly, Mr. Speaker, we will be launching our mangrove project. And again, Mr. Speaker, it speaks to our mindset with regards to resilience, not only for our community, but for our fishers, but for the country on a whole, Mr. Speaker. Mangrove restoration, Mr. Speaker, coral reef protection, urban green spaces, these are not just conservation efforts. They are infrastructure for climate adaptation, livelihoods for our people, and buffers against disasters. Mr. Speaker, we must embed environmental and natural capital accounting into our national planning frameworks. Mr. Speaker, this means valuing our ecosystems, not only as beautiful landscapes, but as productive assets. Forests that store carbon, rivers that sustain agriculture, reefs that support tourism and fisheries. And if we cannot measure them, Mr. Speaker, we cannot manage them. Mr. Speaker, this requires a new cadre of economists, planners, and analysts who are trained in system and environmental economic accounting, who understand ecosystem valuation, and who can integrate these into cost-based analysis, public investment appraisals, and fiscal policy, Mr. Speaker, to inform the decisions of Cabinet and the government, Mr. Speaker. This, Mr. Speaker, is the level of transformation we must aim for. It's not about tweaking at the edges. It's about reimagining the machinery of government, equipping it not just to function, but to lead, attract investment, and deliver results in a world that is rapidly changing. Mr. Speaker, in response to these emerging demands, and to ensure that St. Lucia is not left behind in the race to access and absorb climate finance, the government has established a dedicated climate finance unit during this fiscal year. Mr. Speaker, the CFU Climate Finance Unit has a clear and strategic mandate to unlock the resources, build the capacity, and strengthen the systems that will enable St. Lucia to access, manage, and deploy climate finance in a way that is accountable, equitable, and aligned with our national climate resilient priorities. To clarify, Mr. Speaker, the CFU is not just about writing proposals. It is about shaping a pipeline of bankable, transformational projects. It's about mobilizing domestic and international financing for climate adaptation, mitigation, and resilience. Mr. Speaker, it is about building institutional frameworks that allow St. Lucia to become a trusted partner in the global climate finance architecture. Mr. Speaker, as the Green Climate Fund itself notes, accessing climate finance is not only about funding projects, it's about empowering countries, especially small island developing states, to take ownership of their climate futures, Mr. Speaker, ownership of our climate futures. Mr. Speaker, this unit is central to that ownership. It will work across sectors, energy, education, fisheries, health, forestry, water, housing, agriculture, tourism, finance, to ensure that climate finance is not an isolated stream, but a mainstream tool for national transformation. It will also lead on strengthening St. Lucia's position within the regional and international networks, such as the Climate Finance Access Network, the GCF's direct access entities, and other global partnerships that can help us scale ambition and accelerate action like the AFD, which is funding the mangrove enhancery, ICA, FAO, and the GGGI. Mr. Speaker, this is not just about money. It's about capacity, leadership, and systems change. Through these efforts, we have already developed, Mr. Speaker, a Blueborn framework, which we are currently working on, Mr. Speaker, in the view, Mr. Speaker, of an issuance. Mr. Speaker, let us invest in our people. Let us prepare them to lead. Let us be co-creators of our climate-resilient future. Mr. Speaker, bold budgets demand capable institutions. We cannot succeed with outdated systems and passive delivery. Implementation, Mr. Speaker, has always been the Achilles heel of succeeding governments. And that is why this government is pursuing public service transformation, a shift towards greater responsiveness, accountability, and digital delivery. We are modernizing procurement, strengthening monitoring and evaluation, and building capacity across ministries to execute with excellence. Mr. Speaker, we can plan all we want, but without execution, plans, Mr. Speaker, remain on paper. That is why this budget empowers not just ministries, Mr. Speaker, but people. That is why, Mr. Speaker, this budget empowers not just ministries, but people. Citizens must be active participants in national development. The private sector must lead with innovation, and the public service must rise to meet the moment. This, Mr. Speaker, is our opportunity to do more than recover, more than normalize. This is our chance to transform. Mr. Speaker, we must foster a new development compact based on trust, shared responsibility, and ambition. We must rise above all challenges and use this moment, Mr. Speaker, to invest in people, in systems, and our shared future. Mr. Speaker, it is important to reaffirm the role of the Department of Economic Development in shaping St. Lucia's development pathway.
Member for Ancillary Canaries, you have 15 minutes left.
Thank you. The department's mandate is not to implement, but to lead, coordinate and facilitate our national economic development agenda. Mr. Speaker, this includes guiding the country's strategic planning processes, overseeing resource mobilization, both domestic and international, to fund our development priorities. Mr. Speaker, the department plays a pivotal role in coordinating official development assistance, engaging with donors, and supporting the development of impactful programs and projects. Mr. Speaker, as we look ahead, the Department of Economic Development must continue to set the tone for our future, championing a vision that is ambitious, inclusive, and resilient. Mr. Speaker, I must emphasize this role is not one of implementation, but rather of strategic leadership, coordination, and facilitation of our development agenda. Mr. Speaker, this includes steering our national planning processes, guiding the medium-term development strategy and the public sector investment program, and mobilizing the financial and technical resources required to bring our priorities to life. Mr. Speaker, the department also plays a lead role in ensuring institutional capacity and absorption capabilities across the public service, ensuring that we are ready to deliver on complex, multi-sectoral programs. Mr. Speaker, its mandate is clear: to create the enabling environment for sustainable development, not just for today, but for generations to come. In parallel, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Finance plays a crucial role in managing our economic and financial health. Mr. Speaker, as the central authority for fiscal policy and resource allocation, the department ensures that sound management of our national economy. Its primary function is to support government operations by promoting economic stability, maintaining fiscal discipline, and fostering conditions for sustainable growth. Mr. Speaker, together, these two institutions form the backbone of our development architecture, one providing the strategic compass, the other the financial steering. But Mr. Speaker, that alone will not cause the economic growth. That alone will not transform lives. Mr. Speaker, for us to realize our full development potential, we must go further. We need a public service that is not only well-trained, but also agile, responsive, and solutions-oriented. A public service that sees itself not as passive administrators of plans, but active partners in our national transformation. We also need a private sector that is bold, innovative, and aligned with our national vision, one that sees opportunities not just in profit margins, but in purpose, by investing in green technologies, local production, cultural industries, and digital transformation. A private sector that collaborates with government and communities to unlock new markets, create decent jobs, and build a more inclusive and resilient economy. Mr. Speaker, together, the public and private sectors must form a new development compact, rooted in trust, shared responsibility, and collective commitment to move St. Lucia forward. Mr. Speaker, that could only happen with the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party, led by the member for Cashews East. Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. Nation building is generational. It's about ensuring that we are capable of meeting today's demands, but also ready to navigate the complexities of tomorrow's economy. Mr. Speaker, that is a future we must prepare for, starting yesterday. Mr. Speaker, we have some catching up to do, but we are still in the race, so let's not allow, Mr. Speaker, the change and the misfortune of misinformation to guide us going forward, Mr. Speaker. I urge this Honorable House to support the urgent reforms and investments in public service renewal, with an emphasis on succession planning that is embedded in knowledge management, technical capacity development, and leadership cultivation. All the operationalization of our modern public administration fit for purpose in a rapidly evolving world. Mr. Speaker, for this debate on the appropriation bill for the fiscal year 2025-2026, let us be clear. This is more than a financial statement. It is a declaration of intent, values, and national vision, a reflection of the trust St. Lucians has placed in this Labour administration to deliver by putting people first. Mr. Speaker, this is the largest budget in our history. This is why we have taken steps to strengthen our macroeconomic management and reinforce fiscal discipline while continuing to invest in critical social protection and economic development programs. But Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. Building resilience is not just the work of government. It is a collective national effort. It requires an engaged and informed citizenry, a dynamic and responsible private sector, and a public service that is not only efficient, but empathetic, understanding the daily struggles of the people it serves, Mr. Speaker. Together, Mr. Speaker, we must rise to the challenge, not just to weather the storm, but to build a stronger, fairer, and more adaptive solution that can thrive in an increasingly unpredictable world. Budgets are not just about what we can afford. They are about what we choose to prioritize. In this moment, St. Lucia must choose to invest in its people, its systems, and its future. And that is exactly what we are doing as a government, Mr. Speaker. We cannot navigate the complex, convergent issues of climate change, economic disruption, and demographic shifts with outdated tools, disconnected systems. We need a confident, capable public service that leads with innovation and strategic clarity. Resilience must be forward-looking, not just recovery, but reinvention. Leadership must be visionary, coherent, and grounded in service. We must ask ourselves, are we investing with purpose? Are we building institutions that match our ambitions? We have the tools and the talent, Mr. Speaker. What remains is the consistency to act. Let this budget be more than a ritual, Mr. Speaker. It must be a turning point, one that moves beyond projects and spending to cultivate transformational partnerships rooted in resilience, equity, and sustainability. Let history show that St. Lucia did not shrink from its challenges. We rose, Mr. Speaker, with resolve and with belief in our people. Every dollar, Mr. Speaker, in this bill is a declaration that we reject vulnerability and destiny, vulnerability as a destiny, and that we are ready to shape our own future. Let us build not only infrastructure, but legacy. Let us prepare not only for today, Mr. Speaker, but for tomorrow. Let us rise together for a future-ready St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, I will now turn to the most important part of my contribution, my constituency of Ansari-Kandis, Mr. Speaker. And I thank them on a regular basis, Mr. Speaker, for their continued support, Mr. Speaker. However, Mr. Speaker, there are those who believe to gain any kind of political mileage, they should tag themselves along with activities taking place in the constituency. Mr. Speaker, would you know, I had an activity in Ansari over the weekend, and the former member of parliament, recognizing that there were a series of activities taking place in Ansari-Kandis, he decided to make a contribution. Mr. Speaker, would you know, at the 11th hour, the contribution was a box of frozen chicken. Mr. Speaker, if I may say, frozen chicken, Mr. Speaker. Frozen chicken, Mr. Speaker. The activity is this afternoon, and he brings the frozen chicken the very afternoon, Mr. Speaker. But the people of Ansari-Kandis, Mr. Speaker, will have their decision very soon, Mr. Speaker. What's also very interesting, Mr. Speaker, the leader of the Labour Party, the political leader, has never missed a meeting in Ansari, even when we were not in government. The United Workers' Party had a national meeting in Ansari, and the leader of the opposition was not present. What does that say to the people of Ansari-Kandis? They know he's already said, don't invest money in particular constituencies because they will never support us. I believe Bradley was there. Bradley, were you there, Bradley? Bradley was there. But the leader of the opposition was not there, Mr. Speaker. Why was the leader of the opposition not at a national meeting in Ansari-Kandis, Mr. Speaker? Because we know what they think about us, Mr. Speaker. And we know what we think about them as well. Mr. Speaker, whether it is the jetty in canneries, the rehabilitation of the field in canneries, the court in canneries, the field in Jacmel, the court in Jacmel, the field in Vanna, the court in Vanna, the HRDC in Tetchime, the field in Tetchime, the bridges, Mr. Speaker, the roads, the walls, the glasses, the dentures, the funeral assistance. every single thing we do for the people of Antioch County, Mr. Speaker, the time will come, Mr. Speaker, for them to decide what they want, Mr. Speaker. And I have a feeling, Mr. Speaker, they will prefer drinking from a tall
Remember, you
glass
have
of water.
5 minutes left.
Mr. Speaker, I unreservedly, Mr. Speaker, support the appropriation bill for 25-26. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.